Christian HUTIN, vous êtes en tant que député
Christian HUTIN, you are the inviting
c'est à vous que revient le premier mot.
host as a parliamentarian.
Bien, merci Corentin.
Thank you, Corentin.
Me revient en effet
I would like to welcome all of you in this Victor Hugo room of the Assemblée nationale. Now, sometimes it's difficult to enter the assembly before 8 o'clock, before 8 a.m. Here is the room where the majority parliamentarian group meets, and the Socialist group and the Republicans. And so I'm very happy to be able to welcome you here. We thought that we would have 200 participants and more than 380 people have registered, so it's a success. Dear Régis, dear Gaëtan, Madame Minister, dear friends.
Nous sommes maintenant 5 ans.
5 years have elapsed since your law has been enacted. Minister, I remember I was learning my job as a parliamentarian at the time, and we spent a few nights with Gaëtan working on this legislation, and we had voted against this legislation for various reasons. I am a Chevènement's follower, very fond of the state's monopoly. So what will we do today, and what is the situation? This is an opportunity to make a sort of situational review. 5 years have elapsed. Changes have occurred, and there have been some problems for public health, problems of addiction, pathological gamblers. Now, I would like to welcome Valérie Fourneron, who has initiated an agreement which has been signed by Thierry Barriat a year ago concerning the integrity of games and of sports events. I think that this agreement has been signed in Switzerland last year, and it concerns the gambling integrity, business lines, and the horse racing business line or sector. We could think about public order, money laundering. I'm representing here some commissioners who are particularly interested in money laundering or the control of money laundering. In the law, we had included a review clause, and this is what we're doing today. We'll review this legislation today. Thank you to Corentin, who has organized, as well as Mr. Segelen, organized this meeting. There will be 4 roundtables, 1.5 hours, 45 minutes for speeches, and then questions and answers. I have to leave you twice. I have to go to the Social Affairs Committee first, and then I will have this afternoon to ask a question to the budget minister concerning the government's approach about this legislation. Thank you very much for being here, and in such large numbers. I think that we'll have highly interesting debates. And I'm going to give the floor to Charles COPPOLANI, with whom I am organizing this colloquium today.
Merci beaucoup,
Thank you, Christian HUTIN. I would like to start this introduction by thanking you, Mr. Parliamentarian, for having organized this colloquium. And this is why we are here in such large numbers in this room. And it's very satisfying because after having given rise to so many debates in the media, this legislation about gambling and games of chance has been a cause for concern for the politicians and legislators.
à cet engagement qui était prévu dans la
So
loi.
we had included a review clause after
Or, s'il y a
18
5 ans,
months.
il y avait
5
urgence à
years
ouvrir
ago,
le
it
marché,
was
et cela pouvait être
really
notre débat. Je suis
quite advisable
profondément
to open
convaincu,
the market to competition.
après
After
18 mois,
about
20 mois
18 months,
d'exercice de ces fonctions, de
I
l'urgence
am
à
convinced
réformer le
about
dispositif.
the
Pourquoi? Parce qu'en
desirability
5
to
ans,
reform
le
this
monde des jeux a
scheme.
connu
Why?
de
Because
profonds
over the
bouleversements.
past 5 years,
Et
the
en même temps,
gambling
les
sector
risques qui
has
sont liés aux
changed
jeux se sont
and the risks
intensifiés.
have intensified. Have
Internationalisés,
become more
risque de
international, risk of
manipulation,
fixing,
de fraude,
fraud, money
de blanchiment,
laundering,
recrudescence de l'offre illégale,
emergence of illegal
risque d'une exposition
supply,
accrue
and
de nos
our
concitoyens
citizens are
à une offre
exposed
de jeux
to
démultipliée et
multiplied supply of
choses sont
games
allées
and
très vite
gambling opportunities. So
s'accélèrent encore aujourd'hui.
those changes
Je pense qu'il nous convient de
have
revisiter notre modèle
emerged
avec à l'esprit cette accélération
at
continue
a
au
very
sens de la
quick pace.
Je vous
And
propose que ces impératifs d'urgence
I believe that we're faced with an
et
emergency now.
d'anticipation
I
orientent
think that this
nos
should
travaux de
be
cette
kept in
journée,
mind
qu'ils en soient
all
les fruits.
throughout this
Les objectifs sur le
working day.
contenu et les suites de ce colloque sont à la hauteur de cet impératif.
I would like
Permettez-moi de les exposer
to,
en
in a
quelques
nutshell, talk about
Le bilan
the
de la
main
loi de
requirements.
2010 doit permettre
Concerning
d'établir un
the
constat
2010
objectif des
legislation,
atouts
I
de
think
notre
that
modèle.
we have to review the
convient de
assets
conforter
and benefits of our
et des
model
manques aussi,
and our
importe
scheme,
de
but we
combler
also have gaps
pour
to
que
fill
nous
in
ayons une
order to
régulation
have
qui
an
soit
efficient
efficace et
and
performante.
effective law.
La protection
We have
du
to protect the
joueur,
gambler, we
l'intégrité du
have
jeu,
to
ce
protect
sont
the
des
game, the
enjeux
gambling's
concrets
integrity or the
pour
game's
lesquels il
integrity.
importe
We
d'être
need to be
inventif et audacieux
inventive and
dans un
bold
contexte où la vigilance et la
in
capacité à
an
agir
environment
ne
where
sont
vigilance
plus
and the
que jamais de
ability to
mise.
act
Les
is very
expériences et
important.
témoignages doivent nous
Experience
permettre d'identifier les
and
meilleures
testimonies
pratiques
need
et
to
d'enrichir nos plans d'action.
fuel the best practices.
Les
Prospects
perspectives
of
de
a
la dernière
last
table ronde doivent nous donner
roundtable
une feuille de route
will be our
ambitieuse
roadmap,
pour
and
traiter
it will be
sujet
an
dans toutes ses
ambitious
dimensions
roadmap
et
in
qui
order to
revisite notre
review our
régulation des jeux dans
regulations
son
about
ensemble,
gambling
au-delà des
and
archaïsmes et
will
des a
help
priori
us to
institutionnels.
overcome the institutional
L'accueil
biases.
et les réactions favorables que l'annonce du
When the
colloque
colloquium
a recueillies est
has
un
been
deuxième motif de
announced,
satisfaction.
we had very
2 anciens
favorable
ministres
responses. 2
et 2
former
ministres
ministers and
participeront à
2
cette
ministers
journée.
are going to
Monsieur
participate.
Wörth,
Mr. Wörth,
ancien ministre du
former
budget et auteur
budget
de la loi,
minister,
Madame Fourneron, ancien
Mrs.
ministre des
Fourneron,
Sports. Je les remercie
former
tous les deux
sports
vivement.
minister, Mr.
Monsieur
Patrick
Tanner,
Hammer,
ministre de la Ville et de la Jeunesse et des Sports, ouvrira les travaux
Minister
sur
of
l'intégrité du jeu en début
the city,
d'après-midi.
will be
Et
there
Christian
this
HUTIN,
afternoon, and
secrétaire
Mr.
d'État
Ecker,
chargé du budget,
the
a
Secretary of
accepté de
State for
conclure la
Budget,
journée.
has accepted to
Mes
make the
collègues
concluding
et
remarks. My
régulateurs
colleagues
partenaires de 11
come
États
from
membres de
11
l'Union européenne, mais aussi
EU
en dehors,
members,
puisque nous
as
avons
well
un
as an
représentant de
Australian
l'Australie
member
que
outside
je
of
vais
the
accueillir
EU, and
aujourd'hui.
I would like to
Sont
welcome you
présents
more
à la fois
specifically,
sur
sir.
la tribune
And
et dans la
I
salle, et
would
je les
like to
salue
welcome
très
all of you.
amicalement. Leur
And I
expérience
think
doit
that
nous
your
éclairer.
experience is going to be very enlightening
Enfin, le
to us.
public,
And I
je me réjouis
also
de
would
voir
like
aussi
to welcome
nombreux,
the audience,
un public
which
représentatif
represents
de tous
all
les
the
acteurs
stakeholders
intervenant
in
dans le
this
secteur.
sector.
Je salue
I would
aussi
like
les
to
membres du
welcome the
collège de
members of the
l'Arjel, qui
Arjel
forment une équipe, qui travaillent
Association.
ensemble.
I think
Leur
it's very
présence est
important for you to
importante
be
aujourd'hui.
here today.
Je crois que tout
All
cela est un
this
gage
is
de qualité des travaux de la journée, de la densité des débats.
a
Et donc,
guarantee
il ne faut pas
for the high
les
quality of
retarder
our debates,
davantage.
and I would
Je
like
passe
to
donc
give
immédiatement la
the
parole
floor
à
immediately to Corentin Segalen,
qui rejoint à
who has
l'Arjel
joined
pour
us to
animer
Arjel in
les
order
4
to review the 4
tables rondes de
round
la journée.
tables.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.